Oh, I'm sorry, you can stop recording.
I would entertain a motion to accept the minutes as read.
I'll make the motion to accept the minutes as read.
And I'll second that.
Further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Nays, abstentions. All right, so we have application 2366S. It's a two-lot subdivision, Linda Demar, in continuation. It says 3-lot on the application. Oh, it meant to 2-lot, sorry, and 2 boundary line adjustments, a new plat. We reviewed this, what was it, 2 months?
Last month.
Last month. Oh, I think we did this one. Who do we have for the Linda Demar? Okay, so is everybody gonna speak?
I believe I have to.
All right, do you swear that the testimony you're about to give is the truth to the best of your knowledge under the pains and penalties of perjury?
I do.
Okay. So are you gonna update us, or did that happen last?
I think that he wants it to stand as it is like that.
Okay. Oh, I was online, so I was looking at it through, so did any of the board members, do you want to take a look at this again?
So this was the one that had the small lot that was having a boundary line adjustment. It was still gonna be a small lot, but less. It was, so it's in the 2 acre zoning. That one, but it's like 1 acre, but it's less non-conforming.
That one.
This one right
That
here.
one.
We decided that because it was less non-conforming, even though they moved it,
Gotcha.
so they could have this.
Right.
And I think it's probably the same size and not bigger,
It's not bigger.
possibly, but it's no smaller. 0.86 acres, that's the new, what does it say about the old?
Right. They just.
Is the point, oh, the new is 0.86 acres. Did it got a little bigger?
That original little, yes, it got a little bit bigger. So I don't think it's fully conforming yet, but it's closer.
It is better than it was, yeah. It is a boundary line adjustment. Technically, it's sort of not really part of the subdivision because there's the 2 lots of subdivision lots, so. All right, so.
We were talking about this lot right here, which is a 0.86 lot in the rural residential district that requires a 2 acre lot size minimum. But it's a boundary line adjustment off a smaller lot. So there's the reason for it is to make room for this new state approved septic, I'm assuming. So it's actually not making the lot more non-conforming. If anything, it's a little bigger, so it comes closer to conformity, but it's still not quite there.
So we can go through we didn't do the plat review for this.
We did.
Okay, so since you got it, it's prepared by a registered land surveyor. The number of acres with the proposed subdivision, existing property lines, easements, deed restrictions, buildings are in there. Water courses, wetlands, et cetera. All parcels immediately adjacent labeled.
They are.
There's no zoning district boundaries because it's all in the rural area. Location and size of any sewers, water mains, community sewage disposal wells, culverts, and the septic system on there.
So
That leach field, is that?
the original house, the 1 acre house has that. The lot 2, which is actually the lot that they're the new subdividing. That's deferred. That's as in, it's going to require the state wastewater.
He's applied for the waiver that he needs for that, it just hasn't come through yet. I don't know the status of it.
A waiver for it?
Yeah, he needed to apply for a waiver. I think to accommodate that, not for lot two, but the accommodation, the waiver was accommodating.
Oh, for lot one, sure, yeah. Okay, but they do show the leach field for lot one. And the leach field for that one lot that's been boundary line adjusted.
Yeah,
The other boundary line adjustment wouldn't show that, that's just going to the neighbor.
yeah,
Um, Lot two does not have anything on it at this point,
it's just vacant.
it's just land.
Okay. All right, so we don't have location of proposed water, wastewater, because those aren't there yet. There's no land set aside for public use, I'm guessing. There's a vicinity map, scale map on there. Yeah, top left there, is that it? Um,
In the vicinity map.
yeah. Name and address of the proposed subdivision
Yeah.
and name and address of the owner of record,
Yeah,
date, true north arrow and scale,
yeah,
total acreage with the lot lines numbered and identified, or sorry, the lots numbered and identified.
lots are numbered and identified and their total acreage of one is there.
Don't need. There's no construction sequence. And that is the end of the general. So that is the, yeah, that's the list right there. Does anyone have any further questions or anything they would like to add? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to approve 2366S, the two-lot subdivision.
I'll make the motion to approve. What was that number?
2366S.
3366S.
And I'll second that.
All right, any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay.
Feels like that mess. Yeah.
All right, moving on to 2410S, a three-lot subdivision. Bryan Field. So this is a three-lot subdivision of existing 13.4 acre parcel. Lot 1 will consist of 6 acres, lot 2 will consist of 4.4 acres, and lot 3 will consist of 3 acres. The applicant is electing to not participate in sketch plan review. And who is speaking for? Okay. Let's go plan.
How's it going?
Well,
I'm Tyler Mumley with Mumley Engineering
okay.
out of Morrisville, and this is Ryan Field.
Hello. Corey. Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give is the truth and to the best of your understanding of the pains and penalties of perjury?
Yes. Yes.
I guess, Tyler, maybe if you want to just kind of give a brief description. And then I'll sort of pass it around, we can look at it, or if,
Yeah, I have some hard copies if you want me to pass them out, make it easier. Letters. No, I got this. This is the site plan that Mumley Engineering did, but also underneath it is that. The plat by Fulton Gilmore. And so there's the existing parcel, it's about 13.4 acres. And Ryan and Rebecca live there. And so we're proposing 2 new lots, one uphill behind of it. But uphill. South. Up to, one there.
Well, this way, if you're pointing here.
Okay, and then, to the west, another lot over here. So the lot to the south of the hill, the access via a new driveway up into the woods there. Then a new access directly off of Elmore Pond Road to this new house. And the house up the hill is proposed as a 2-bedroom house. Over here, we have a 3-bedroom house, as well as a 2-bedroom accessory. And we have received our state wastewater permit for this. Talking with Tom, we understand that the driveways need to be private roads to access those lots, but they don't have frontage. So
You would have to have frontage on a private road for those 2 lots in the back, but not just separate driveways. So it's actually so the definition of a road, it has to be the primary access to 2 or more lots. So it can't just be a driveway going into a lot, calling it a road.
one of the things we have to talk with Tom, about that, what we could do is we could provide access. Or we could essentially change this property line to come down and grab right away, grab frontage off of this road and bring so it kind of has like this L going down.
Could do that, as long as you have 150 feet of road frontage, and that doesn't narrow down, because we also have the stipulation that you have to have. So the lot shape has to have a certain shape along the roadside.
Okay.
Yeah, you would have to. So basically 150 feet wide, it has to be 150 feet wide all the way back.
Okay. That would be tough here. This frontage existing is 335, so 150 would be almost there and it wouldn't be able to stay straight. So another option we had is if this can become a private road because it accesses 2 lots. So we could actually have frontage along here and then just pull off of this new road with a driveway. That would be 150 feet.
So that would solve the road frontage for that lot, and then you'd have to address it for the back lot also.
But if that is a road that ends,
But that back lot still would not have 150 feet of road frontage. To me, it looks like this road ends before it gets to the back line.
no, I mean, we would keep it. So essentially the road would end at that property line.
And you'd still have to have 100, it would have to either do a 90-degree and run along that property line, or it would have to go into it 150 feet. Because you've got no.
Oh, okay, you mean like if it came in like this,
Exactly.
and then would it be a total distance around it would be 150?
That would be my viewpoint, but
Yeah, I'm reading the frontage stuff right here.
Yeah, I was trying to dive in on it, understand a little bit better, because it was the rules seem kind of unique to me. Is that what you do if you have a totally landlocked parcel that you're doing? Because then you You can't just have a driveway easement too, is what the rule said.
You don't have any road frontage there.
Yeah.
And if if you have, your road going there, you at most have 50 feet of road frontage.
Yeah, it's under. It's dimensional requirements 4.01C. All new lots created shall have a frontage on a public or private road unless located within the planned unit development. A shared driveway, or shared driveway does not establish frontage. Existing landlocked parcels therefore cannot be subdivided without approval and construction of a private road. The minimum frontage required is established by the district in which it is located. So in the rural, it's 150 feet. Et cetera, et cetera.
You're saying we could also do something where this road does this. Then you basically have 150 feet like that.
You could, yes. Like I said, my personal opinion of it, you could go 75 feet straight into that lot and count both sides of it, but that's not written anywhere, but that's 75 feet of road.
It's 150, so.
That's awesome.
It'd actually be more than 75
Actually, you'd have.
plus 50 plus 75.
Sorry, I'm new to this process.
Yeah.
I just want to learn everything I can. What were you proposing, sir? That, just so I'm hearing everything.
So the road would come and the road extends into this lot. And this right away essentially stays, you have frontage around it.
I get it.
So he's saying you can't just dead end it there. So you can either go sideways. And then you'd have 150
Yeah,
feet
no, I totally-
this way or go.
I was
in.
unaware that you could even, that's okay.
The other thing about private roads is they have to be built to the town of Wolcott highway standards, which is based on the number of average vehicle trips per day. There's like a list.
Yep.
For doing construction, I think I go to the hardware store a little too often. Well,
Yeah, I said it's like with ADT of like 25 or less trips, then it'd be
I'm sure it would
14
be
foot wide.
whatever it is, yeah.
Mhm.
It's not like, building a class 3 road, I don't think, where you've got. I think you have to be able to pass, but it's not like pass at 50 miles an hour, however.
Yeah. Yeah, I read that up and the ADT, if it's 25 trips or less, then it's a 7-foot travel lane, so 14-foot total.
Right.
Yeah.
So pretty close to that already.
right there.
The other one was slopes that a grade that I was concerned about.
Yeah.
Because it's an existing driveway that would be converted into a new road. An existing driveway is probably about an average of 10%.
Okay, for how long?
The entire from Elmore Pond Road up to the back house. I did measure that, it's less than 1,500. So I don't know what it is to the house, maybe half.
So I think our rules.
Looking, yeah, I forget what the grade,
Like 6 or 8% for
something like that.
150 feet.
Per 150 feet.
Well, you could go a maximum of 150 feet at that grade.
And that would that be for the new or the new proposed lot, or since it's already currently
Anything that you're gonna designate.
off of Elmore Pond Road on up?
And I guess we don't really care about driveways. That's up to you. The road. 10% is pretty steep.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like 10% driving up it just now, but looking at the grades in the paper and I did the scale and the distance and it seems about average of 10%. Is there, because short of like reconstructing that entire existing driveway, is there any option for like a waiver? Has there been any precedence in the past for something like that to give a waiver for the grade?
Precedent. But I haven't been on the board forever either.
I'm just looking for the slope here.
I think it falls back think it leaves the zoning rules, right, and goes into the highway
It does.
ordinance.
Yeah, that may not be on here. This is talking about development on steep slopes. But this, you're saying that the road, the driveway is already there,
Right, the driveway accessing his house is already there.
and that's the steep slope you were talking about?
Not steep slope, it's just about an average of 10% grades, and I think the max is supposed to be 8%.
So it's 6 or 8.
This is talking about just in general, if slopes between 8 and 15% are disturbed as a result of a development. The DRB may require the applicant to submit plans for erosion and sediment control during construction and plans for post-construction slope stabilization. But that's more of just like general,
Yeah, I think that's,
looking for the road.
yeah, because I think you have to go, I think you have to leave the zoning rules and go into the highway.
The highway standards, and that would be more of a select board call than something that we would do. Yeah, I don't think any of that's in here.
Okay, the steep sections.
Wait, that does make a difference.
I mean, I'm not paying for this, so I guess.
That is, I think she is right. I do think a paved, do a paved road allows up to 10%.
Ooh.
If I remember correctly.
You kind of want.
When's that one Pond Road getting paved?
You kind of want to debate it.
Time like to have it.
Yeah.
We don't have money, but.
Well, that's that part.
So.
This is all development.
That's the question, because not all of it, I mean, there's a pretty flat section, it just kind of.
No, there's just one pitch.
Yeah, I think it's gonna all be.
Yeah, there's, yeah,
Highway standards ordinance.
yeah, there's nothing in here about that. So that would be something the select board would, or the, I don't know, the road commissioner, who's the one that goes, and does this, but anyhow, that, yeah, that wouldn't be something that would be.
Thing is though. I don't know that we can approve subdivision using a road like that. I'm not sure how you would even back and forth across this to get that grade down.
Might have to be contingent on whoever approves, a road. Saying that it's falls, within their regulations.
We're focusing on the 8-10% area right now, is that the top area of the conversation?
Get the town Wolcott highway ordinance, whatever. Yeah.
Let's say that driveway is at 8%. Is there any other concerns or things?
Turn around. Perhaps at the end, have some.
That was a kind of big. Specifically.
Turn around right there and get you out at 50 feet. That way that could just be a drive.
5-8%. So we figured out the frontage.
Good here. Good here, so now it just boils down the slope.
So right of way, yeah. The width of the right of way for trails and highways shall be a minimum of 50 feet. Road, it goes into road foundation. I'm not gonna go into that stuff. Crown. Paving, no, travel lane width. Yeah, so ADT, less than 7 feet. Shoulders and curbs. Here we go, slopes and banks. What about guardrails? I don't need that. Pitches,
Need to retract sometimes.
over alignment, bridges, utilities. Yeah, so grades, the max for paved is 10% and a gravel is 8.
So I know I did see something in there about you could have over that for like 150 feet.
Yeah, I don't know, this is what I'm looking at here. So there's the. Oh, no, it's a curve. You saw something there?
And it was. Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe it was in the old regulations.
The only other thing is. This is, I think, talking about like.
Yeah, yeah. Side slopes.
And there. So, yeah, maybe they took it out or something.
Maybe. I can't find anything in the rest.
So what, it's just, it was 10% for how long? Or average of 10%?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's, did it say 150 feet is?
We couldn't find that,
And I've seen rules like that before, where there's a little bit of a, it could just.
Yeah.
A little bit, but
right?
I think the average grade is probably, closer to 10%, so I don't. Again, as a gravel road, I don't think it can be 8%, like I don't think we're gonna meet that standard, so I think either decides to pave it. And go up to 10%, and then you're good, or realign it somehow, reconstruct it somehow to make sense. Which we'll have to talk about a little bit more, I think.
Haven't actually, other than the existing driveway being there, you haven't constructed the road at all.
They did put the driveway up into the hill to get up there. Originally, the idea was that was just gonna be an ADU up there. And so they cut a little driveway in up there, so this upper part is cut in. But I guess that,
Doesn't go the whole length of all distance.
yeah, just goes up the hill just a little bit to where they started getting ready. So, but that would stay in the driveway. So where the road is, I think we're good where the road is, where you just constructed. But again, it's connected to the existing driveway, which is over 8%, so. I think either we have to pave it or we have to realign it.
Well, so the second paragraph in Article 6, the highway standards, it does say the select board reserves the right to modify the standards for a particular project where because of unique physical circumstances or conditions, there is no possibility that the project can be completed in strict conformance with these provisions. The select board may at their discretion vary or waive these standards to meet specific special circumstances or where the standard is not essential to the health, safety, and welfare of the traveling public. So I think you probably have a fairly decent, rationale for. I mean,
You guys essentially approved like the concept of the private road, and then we would go to the DRB anyways, because we have to the select board anyways, because don't we have to go to the select board to get like a road name approval or?
You would have to go to Tom, I think, for that, no? The 911 board.
Redirect.
911 could make a recommendation to the select board, but it's their decision.
Okay. Well, so which comes first, the car or the horse? If you guys are, I don't know, can you guys prove it without the select board giving that kind of special approval? Probably not.
I don't know that we can approve it. With that road as steep as it is, to tell you the truth.
Even with select board?
Well, the select board, that's a totally different thing. So the select board, these highway standards are for town roads essentially. And they actually say right in them that they do not apply to private roads. But the subdivision rules that we came up with and that the select board okayed, we reference those highway standards. So you may go to them and say, we don't do any of that, but that's what your subdivision kind of hinges on here.
Okay. Yeah, well, those might be good to figure things out and come back.
Okay. I was just trying to figure out if we're hindering on the 2%, where that is then. So if I'm hearing you correctly, I'm sorry that if we can transition this into making sure that it is 8% throughout the course of its between the road and the upper circle, then that is feasible.
As far as the slope goes, we have some in there that was something about curves and whatnot, like you can't, your curves have to be a certain diameter. I mean,
Yeah, I forget what the
so it's like
radius.
that you can't navigate up through there.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's all part and parcel of that road standards.
Right, 'cause it'd be nice if we could just say, hey, we'll go here and we'll change this lot like that. But I don't know that you guys could approve that tonight without seeing it revised. That's what I'm saying, like, I think we know what we need to do to make it work.
Mhm.
I think it's a little bit too much of a change for them to like tonight.
Yeah, it says at least 100-foot radius measured on the center line.
My shovel.
So I'm saying I'd have to like show that. So you guys would, I guess, I'm assuming that you guys would need a site plan that shows that all the roadway standards are being met.
Well, it would have to show that, yes, that you're somehow avoiding, you know, keeping that slope under 8%. And, you know, no curves, no switchbacks too tight.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, I think we have a path forward, we just have to put it on paper.
Yeah. Okay.
Is there anything else that we could look at and review, just that, because if I guess we're gonna ask for a recess and come back with a new plan, but
Right, should,
if there's anything else that might be of worth interest to review now and understand, so we don't miss it,
that would be a good idea.
or deal with it later.
Is there anything else that is a particular concern?
No, but I mean, we can go through the specific plat review requirements, you know, make sure all the boxes are checked on that, and that really just leaves the road. And, you know, reconfiguring the frontage thing is what you'd have to address, so.
Yeah, that'd be great. We could do
That'd be
that.
awesome, just so we can
Um,
some light.
All right, so we essentially, the first one is dimensional requirement. We essentially already dealt with that with the frontage, minimum areas. The lots are all bigger than 2 acres, and we figured out the 150 feet thing. There's nothing, there's no irregular shapes really. Did we look at the side lot lines 90%? For the depth of the lot with variations up to 20%.
You know, as long as you can fit a regular shaped 2 acre lot, you know.
It looks like you
Yeah.
probably can on all of them. We don't have anything less than 75 feet. There's no curves, jogs, or dog legs. We did the frontage thing. Access. We did that with the road as access on Elmore Pond Road. Usable lot. They're all usable. There's an existing house, right?
Sorry, sir?
There's one existing house, right?
Yes, there is.
That's on lot 1.
Yes, it is, sir.
Okay, this is a proposed house on lot 3.
Yep.
Okay, gotcha. And then propose it on lot 2. Water systems. So basically, we're looking for, wells. So the well for the existing house is on,
It's kind of in between the house and the barn. Here you go.
okay, yep, got it right now. Existing drilled. And then wastewater. So there's the replacement, existing leach field is there. And then you said you have the permits for the other 2 lots.
Yeah, we have a wastewater permit for this proposed development from the state.
And proposed well locations, yeah, there's one there and there's the other one there. Utilities. So electric coming in is,
Yeah, there's an existing overhead line that goes to a pole just below the house and then an underground service to the house. And we're not sure, I'm not showing proposed utilities, but you're gonna pull off that existing pole.
Yeah.
And then run underground to the houses.
so the existing is on here, it's
That the dashed OHW.
HW.
Along the driveway, and then the last pole, it drops underground to go to the existing house.
oh yeah, I see, it goes to UG right there. Okay. Street design and layout. I think that's sort of, we talked about it. It's upgrade to existing roads, we talked about that. Road names and signs, we talked about that. There's no pedestrian and bike facilities. Stormwater management, is there any like drain or ditches or any?
I mean, the driveway, which will now be a roadway detail, essentially says to have drainage where necessary, but we don't have any design stormwater management controls because we're proposing less than a half acre.
Yeah, you don't have that much impervious surface.
Kind of common sense stormwater management along the roads and driveways.
Fire ponds or dry hydrants?
We're gonna put one in to the. Oh, there are no fire hydrants, but I thought we were gonna put,
There's no existing though.
They've talked about putting in some ponds, but we didn't discuss them as fire ponds.
yeah.
Are those required?
No,
No, it's if they're on, if you have them,
Yeah.
put them on the map, but if they're not there, there's no street and sidewalk lighting, no recreation areas. There's no common land.
Common land.
some of these things only really apply when we get into the 9 lot subdivisions, something where. Normally Act 250 would kick in, but because we're a zoning subdivision town, we handle lot size or subdivision sizes up to that.
Thank you for explaining. I was just thinking, just because we have the catamount that crossed the property in the vast, so I'm thinking like public use, so.
No, it would be like if you, yeah, you had a designated like community recreation area. Um, The last thing is ag soils, and we've sort of, as a board, looked at like smaller subdivision. It's, you're doing 200 acres of like hayfield or like prime ag soil that comes in, but this doesn't.
Again, these things are all stuff that if you were going through an Act 250 subdivision permit, they would look at all of those things.
So too happy for my mindset.
So that's the end of the list.
Okay.
I mean, in terms of the other stuff, you know, the scale and the list that we went through with the previous one. You know, the names, it looks like the names of all the neighbors are on there. The scale, the true north arrow. Locust map, surveyor.
We'll need to add the new road and the road right away.
Yep, that stuff. When you, yeah, when that gets figured out, how that's gonna look and.
If you were to say that they were gonna pave that driveway and therefore be able to go 10% grade, then we would be okay, right?
If it isn't over 10% grade.
Yeah. Yeah, and I could, I mean, I've done the measurements, so it's not over 10%. So we could say that, and I could, you know, I could revise the site plan to just show proposed paved. Existing driveway to be paved and then we could revise the parcel lines. I guess my question is like, is that something that could be approved tonight with the condition that that's what's gonna happen? Or would you guys need us to come back?
That you're gonna pave the access road.
Yeah, the two things would be that it's gonna be paved because it's at 10, and then it's at 10%, that's okay. That's one change, and then the other change that this property line, this lot number 3 would come down here and access and have 100-foot frontage along that. Those would be the two changes that we would, essentially you'd condition as part of approval tonight. And then we'd have a driveway coming off of here, and then this, you know, this right away, this road would end 75 feet into here, and we would have a driveway going to there.
Paving would end at the end of current existing, or be.
It would end wherever it needs to in order to, that's over it. It's just a question if you guys could approve this tonight with those two conditions, and then we would update the site plan and get it for the record and get them an updated plat, and then we'd be good, or do we need to come back and go over it again?
I mean, if there's conditions, then
Yeah,
technically that it's not approved until the conditions are met, so.
right. So we'll probably do that. Huh?
Well, it still seems like there are a lot of variables.
Well, I mean. Any conditions that we set on things, those are variables.
They'd have to be specific in language, you know, the conditions in terms of like, you know. The road being, you know, creating 150 feet of frontage and. You know,
For each of the lots.
for each of the lots.
And then, you know, Tom would see it, so like that's what we're gonna do, and we're all visually seeing it, so I'm gonna come down here and change our property line to have 150 feet right there, you know, so. Tom sees that on the site plan that gets sent to him after the approval comes through, then he can, you know, justify that the condition's been met, right? It's just an idea, it'd be nice to leave with approval and conditions tonight as opposed to having to come back, but
How much would have to be paved?
I think it'd have to be paved at least all the way up to their house, existing house.
So like,
I think that's probably about maybe 500 feet. That's 250. A little bit more than 500 feet.
What would you answer?
Just because what he's saying about the
There's already
alternative.
the sub driveway in there to readjust everything and the cost that goes into that. We already have an existing road. It might sound kind of strange, but think about this like 10 years down the line of more paving going in, but it would be a lot to actually readjust everything. Where the costs were almost very probably similar to just go through and then have safer and everything else along ways. The road is already kind of elevated to our driveway.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because the
Paving
alternative,
is great, but I just find it,
Drag that.
I'm no road expert, but I just think it's cost prohibitive.
It all depends on since you're correcting
Regular shape lot off
how
of
much,
frontage.
how much actual space we have to all the changing. And when we're looking at the provision from, yeah, like, this, if we were going from here to there, that costs X. So then if we're going from here to here, like you down, you can kind of rebalance what it is.
You can
do
basically
and also,
draw.
like, if we were to, we had to do something,
You know,
but you'd have to do
So
essentially
here's your frontage.
remove
To have a
this road.
regular shaped 2 acre lot.
I mean, like
And
the
that
new road and
behind that, it doesn't
get
or what.
more length and get 8%.
Yeah, so
So that'd be a lot of
probably
work.
gonna be done.
Put in a whole new driveway and remove the
You're in
existing
that,
one. So
You also look at like.
it's likely that paving it could be cheaper, even though it's very expensive.
The amount of loss that we even have and having to maintenance that too. You just gotta kind of like look at like, sometimes, yeah, bigger picture.
20 years it will round out.
Maybe the cost doesn't fully set into his brain yet.
Yeah,
Because it would be a condition of the subdivision, it would have to be maintained a paved road.
that's what we have to, we're currently doing it now. And that's what we were expecting. We're in it for the long haul, so whatever we need to do to make it happen is what we're hoping to achieve, you know, but like, we're not, you know, when I purchased the property, when we moved up from Burlington, like, it was our plan, it was our goal to like have something that's more of like a unique project for ourselves that we can future, you know, pass down in our next legacy. So doing things right was always how I've been told, and if that's a condition that has to get the job done right, then makes a lot of sense. It's also not exactly throwing money out the window. And we're currently going through a remodel of the house, and you always find issues, and we're always trying to make improvements. So we're already kind of dealing with a lot of things that we inherited, and we're trying to do it the best way instead of like the cheapest or wherever we can kind of get by it. So it might sound not the best of ideas, but at the same time, it's maybe a necessary evil in a situation that you can kind of get to our goal and stay within the bylaws that you guys have and help us all kind of achieve. Like, we're here to help support Wolcott and help try to push it along. We're not trying to do anything else. And the only reason why I had to learn this, because in my real estate past said nothing about building new house developments or anything like that. So we had to like stop, pivot, get more information, talk to professionals, and really understand the whole process. So it's been a fun learning curve, I'll tell you that much, but
How do you pay for eventually?
I think it's a great solution. I mean, solution oriented.
I mean, it's gonna take, it's a certain person that's gonna wanna maintain that pavement on a shared private road, and you might have a better chance of getting the pavement that you want than the pavement that you're stuck with.
well, we're not particularly looking to sell properties.
Oh,
We had properties and we got rid of them to do this project for Burlington, so we're trying to figure out
It
a grant,
probably won't be used
a
very
longer
much.
plan.
yeah, so
And
even better.
yeah, I mean, in our lifetime, it probably won't be used very.
We just have to have one neighbor kid
with
with a nice shovel
Yeah.
and a lot of time on his hand.
It won't be us in the family using it, but it is what it is. Yeah.
So that's the only thing that, it kind of reduces some work and adds in another area, and that, to be honest, that's the only thing I've noticed about anything that we're doing is there's more work and there's less work and there's more work. So you gotta kind of like pick and choose. Of course, you guys know this very well, and I'm kind of learning it myself, but just trying to figure out how to make it all work. But
do you guys think?
Sorry for the long conversation, guys. Yes, sorry.
So I guess I would entertain a motion to conditionally approve 2410S. With the conditions, that the lots meet the minimum frontage requirements and maintain dimensional requirements. And the road meets the highway standard ordinance.
Can I ask one question? Or
One second.
Oh, sorry.
He's in the middle of it.
Oh, sorry.
I'll make that motion.
Give a second.
I'll second that.
All right, any further discussion?
I'm so.
Making a motion, so don't ask. Don't ask the wrong question.
She was kicking me. I'm like, what? I don't have to do the paving first. Does that have to be done like in the part of condition, like right out of the gates? Or can that be done after the construction is completed with with the heavier trucks and muds and everything like that? I just didn't know.
So when would you have to have the road paved?
At the beginning or at the
Like when
end
you
of
go
the
through it?
construction?
You guys do do you guys do CO?
If that's a condition, then it doesn't meet the condition that you're done.
So do you guys do COs? Okay.
So it wouldn't be officially subdivided till all the conditions are met.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Okay.
You could theoretically go in and do all of your building. It'd still be one lot though.
I got it. So if it took us a couple of years to do all this, but then finally, if I'm hearing you correctly, it would then be approved once the pavement is then put in at the grade that's necessary. Is that what I'm hearing, or am I?
Yeah, once the conditions are met, then it technically becomes a subdivision. Before then, it's still it's one lot right now, right?
Yeah, I got it.
So by highway standards, we're referring to
The Wolcott Highway Standard Ordinance.
the ordinance?
Yeah.
Okay. And the roads, I mean, so these are new roads?
Well, I guess when we're saying road, it refers to it can't be a driveway. It has to be like to a higher grade. And that's when it gets bumped into the highway ordinance, which is a little more specific than a driveway.
Yeah, I don't know, I guess. I just am confused and don't see it, at this point.
What are you not seeing?
Well, I'm not seeing much specificity, I guess. I mean, it just sounds like, oh, it's approved, but what is it?
It's conditionally approved. That's what. it's
Yeah,
saying.
but the conditions aren't that clear to me, I guess is what I'm saying. But,
The conditions are that they meets the town of Wolcott highway standards.
okay.
And the frontage too.
Yes, it would also have to meet the frontage and the
Dimensional.
lot dimensions. So in getting the frontage for whatever it is there.
Lot 3.
Three, you want to make sure you don't mess up the lot 1 or anything like that.
And I'll say that on the site plan that gets revised, I can add as much information as I can about grades to show that it's 10% or less and to show the curvatures being 100 feet radius or less.
So when do we see that?
Well, you wouldn't see it, so Tom would see it. But he would see the things that are there and he could check those off against the highway standards.
The Mylar can't get filed unless it has all of that stuff on it.
Right, would have to show the road.
Yeah, cause who's the chair? You're the chair, so you gotta sign the Mylar anyways.
Is there anything else that we can help clarify? I'm just
No.
trying.
You got any objections on this, Tom?
I'm more comfortable to come back next month with a real sketch real plan before you start approving everything. My opinion.
I guess if it make people feel a little bit better with it being conditionally approved, the onus is now, on the design coming up to the standards. So
Yeah, this isn't the first thing that we've conditionally approved, that somebody had to change things on the drawing.
We can bring it back in and, go over the highway rules and show where that stuff is in the plan to make sure you feel comfortable with that. But I mean, again,
They have to be comfortable. It's just their.
Just to show that it meets the conditions, right? You bring it in, you say this, Tom, and it meets the conditions upon the conditional approval.
and I'm willing when the Mylar comes in to not sign it until anybody that wants to look at it, looks at it. I'm totally fine with letting it sit, in Tom's office until everybody that wants to, look at it and confirm that what they're seeing is what was agreed upon. That's okay with me.
yeah, there you go.
Anything else anyone would like to add? All right, hearing nothing. There is a motion on the table. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any nays
Nay.
and no, any abstentions? Okay. So we are conditionally approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. very
Appreciate
much.
it.
We really appreciate that.
Sorry to pick up one.
A sweet thing.
I want to put these two smaller ones inside here.
We're on number 3 now. Number 4.
I was thinking of
Less than 2 an hour.
Several will build there, thinking of a bakery. I'm still going with that idea. I'm still going with that idea. Yeah, in the apartment upstairs, so.
Yeah, like for side coffee.
You're not allowed in the bakery.
Yeah, some coffee speakers or something like that. Thank you so much. Becky.
Yeah, great time.
All right, so next we have application 2411S, Tulp Subdivision, Road of Bedell. This is, the application was filed by Kate Wanner of the Trust for Public Land. And the project description is subdivide off 1.63 acres of existing lot 2, consisting of 136.4 acres. 1.63 acres will be donated to Green Mountain Habitat for the Community to create a 2-bedroom, single-family dwelling served by an on-site proposed drilled well and wastewater disposal system. The home will be perpetually affordable through a covenant in the deed. The remaining portion of lot 2 is under contract with TPL to be conveyed to the town as a new community forest in January of 2024. So that's kind of a general. And who do we have speaking? Rhoda, is Kate coming or?
Not that I know. of.
Okay,
Haven't heard anything.
okay, that's fine.
Hi, this is Denise Moline. I'm here in Kate's stead because she had other commitment tonight. So if you need something from the Trust for Public Land, we are here.
Okay, anybody else online going to speak on this application?
Who's that person? Denise?
Denise Moline.
Linda Martin, I'm just here for support or if you have questions.
All right, so I guess I've got Denise, Linda, and Rhoda. Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give is the truth to the best of your knowledge and the pains and penalties of perjury?
I do.
I do.
So in the folder, I don't, oh yeah, here we go. I have these, there's 2 copies here. So we're looking at Route 15. Then there's the one lot. This is in. Tom, what Oh, it's the Route 15 district. Route 15 district. What's the lot size in the Route 15 district?
What acre?
It's 1 acre. Okay. All right, so we're over that. That was my first question. This is 300,
$399.
399. Okay.
It's actually 467.14, because there's another piece that's 67.84. I think we might be technically a little bit under the road frontage, but the rest of the property is being conveyed to the town, and there will be no other access points off of Route 15.
I think she's talking about. Yeah, I can see your lips moving, but I don't know what she's saying.
It was about frontage.
600 feet on the 15. But this is originally an existing lot, right?
Yes, it is.
It was a house there, wasn't there?
Only Chartier used to live there. On one of them, it was like two lots there, that were, I don't know, I think they were like an acre each. Goldie Chartier lived on one side in the trailer, and then Stuart Sayer lived on the other side, you know, if you're looking at the property.
And does this new lot, does this encompass at least one of those?
I believe so, yes. I think actually what they did is they took a little bit of both. But I'm not exactly sure. Can you tell like this? Not-
It doesn't matter anyway.
No, because-
They're all together in one.
Right, it was all, yeah, but when Leon and I had it, he put it all into one big lot, so it's every time he bought some property, he just kept merging it. There's, you know, what do you call that?
So that small lot out there, both of those lots were merged with the hundreds of
Yeah.
acres or whatever.
Number of lots, and they're all merged together.
So there's no pre-existing anything there then. There's no pre-existing lot there at all.
Big lot.
Are they merged for tax purposes only? Or for Steve, it all together? How do you merge?
There's an acre.
But merger like
It's a-
the merge.
Oh, for the deed, okay.
Your property. I can't think what they call that. But Liam wanted to put it all into one, so it ended up 300, well, all the land we had was 321 acres.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, every time he bought something, he just kept combining because it was right next to our property.
And there is I'm sorry, there is also an existing driveway access point that's there that is pre-existing.
And that actually has some paving on it.
So what was the limitation that kept the road frontage to less than 600 feet?
I believe it just had to do with siting and for making sure that the town forest that we're is going to be as, you know, as big as possible, you know, had as much as possible. And we knew there'd be no other driveway access points, so we thought that it would be sufficient.
So if this was increased to 2 acres, which would be 37 acres larger. I guess I'm wondering how much larger the lot would be in order to add 201 more feet of road frontage.
To be honest, I had thought that Gail Burchard from Fort Gilmore was going to be here tonight, and so I had thought she would know this information. I don't personally know that information.
So they don't actually, I think the road frontage is 399 plus 67.8.
Oh, that
Right.
little corner. Oh, so it's even less than that.
So it'd be less than that, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even see that. 67, so it's 466.
It's supposed to be 600.
Yeah.
Right. I thought it was supposed to be, but
And what were you proposing for buildings on this? On this
It's-
lot?
The
Two-bedroom, single family.
It's gonna be a single family, 2-bedroom residence with a mound wastewater system and a drilled well. And we have received the wastewater permit for the, for this parcel. It's my understanding it's a 1 acre, isn't it a 1 acre lot that's
So
required?
it is, yeah.
1.6.
Yeah, so it's just the frontage and, I guess our request is based on the fact that the rest of it won't be conveyed unless the rest of it is conserved. And there won't be any other access points that it seemed, like it would be something the board could approve.
My only concern is that when we grant a waiver, it has to be applied to everybody else in the district. So it kind of almost in a sense rewrites the the zoning and subdivision regulations. Because it had, any relief that's granted has to be equally accessible to anyone else in the district, which is a pretty heavy change and pretty significant. So that's my biggest concern.
This
So would we-
does seem separate, though. I think this seems like an exception in that it involves the town forest.
It does, but if we grant this, then everyone on the Route 15 corridor would then be allowed to reduce the amount of frontage required. It sort of
So-
sets a precedent.
So would it be better if we came back for a variance from the frontage requirement?
It's, yeah, sorry, I said waiver variance. It's, yeah, a variance. Essentially, I guess I'm just wondering why we couldn't just move one of these lines and add 100 and what is it? 134 feet.
Yeah,
Is it all Bedell land that encompasses around it? So you have more road frontage there.
yeah, I think the thought was just to make it a normal looking lot. As opposed to one, I mean, obviously we could just. I
So
mean,
is this, can I ask you a question? Is it 600 feet from like the edge of the road or is it from the middle of the road?
It's along the road.
Along,
Would be the
Yeah.
edge of the road.
so you measure from the edge of the road back?
No, this is along the road.
Oh, you mean along the front? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So you wouldn't have to go back.
Nope.
You know, because I was thinking you'd have to go back on the property further and it's very steep.
No, just, and
just to-
Go along the road.
Along the road. Okay, okay.
So the reason why we have 600 feet of road frontage along Route 15 is because it's a 50-mile-an-hour road and
Mhm.
we trying to discourage having driveways every couple hundred feet.
Right.
The other option is to put a road in there that would serve 2 lots. One of them could be this one, the other could be the town forest.
Yeah.
Has to have 100 feet of road frontage on a private road.
It's really steep in there though.
It is.
In-
Very steep.
But
yeah, 100 feet on a secondary or private road.
So I don't know where they end now. I mean, they could go that way or they could go other way. I'm not sure.
It looks like either because the rest of the property surrounds this
Yeah.
lot, right?
There's a lot of ledge in there too.
Yes, there is.
well, the ledge along the roadside doesn't really affect, what we're looking at. It's still road frontage.
Right.
Does it have to be actual frontage or can it be like the right to, like an easement?
No, a driveway or an easement doesn't constitute frontage unless it's up to the road standard.
Okay.
You have to have 137 feet more, you said?
Yeah, 34, 134.
34.
Which, I'm just looking at this, it might, I don't even know if it would make that lot 2 acres. Maybe. So that would be increasing it by what, 0.37 acres?
If you made it 2 acres, you could put 2 affordable housing units there.
That is true.
No, that is not in the works. No, I already discussed that with them. It's
Okay.
one is all they get.
Right.
All right, and even though the frontage variance would be specific to this lot and based on the fact that it was surrounded by conservation land, that's not something that you think that would then give other people the right to argue that they didn't need as much frontage? Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Yeah, the way our bylaws read.
You want 2 units anyway, you need 600 more.
Well, no. You could have 2 units on the same lot.
That's not.
Or a duplex.
No. Enough of them around.
So should we recess the hearing
Yeah,
until,
yes, I guess until the next,
going to look at,
Has this been formally surveyed or anything like that?
yes,
It has. Okay.
They were up there last week, weren't they?
Yeah.
Holt Gilmore?
yes.
Do they have stakes in there? Because I haven't actually been up and seen it, but
I'm not sure about that. They may have already staked it, but I'm not sure.
So, they could, as simply as just moving 1 pin further east on Route 15.
Yeah, I will have to talk to Will Gilmore about that, but yeah, we'll just have to figure out a way for them to find 600 feet. And it may, they may have to move other lines. I'm not sure, but we'll, I guess we'll have to
They
address.
really wouldn't have to move the back ones, just one of the front ones.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
mean, I
thought
think-
it might be the backwards too, but it's not.
It looks like November 22nd is our next scheduled, and that is the day before Thanksgiving.
Well, we can have turkey and cranberry, the meeting.
Know how that works for everybody?
Fine for me.
I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be here, so.
So that means you'll have 5 Wednesdays in November.
Indeed, the 29th is the 5th.
Yeah.
But is there a timeline that works better for TPL?
I will check with Will Gilmore. I think someone from TPL could definitely be available on the 22nd, so that's fine with us. Does that work if it works for Rhoda?
Yeah, I had to come.
Okay.
Actually. That day is just the day that.
I mean, it is possible for us to schedule a special hearing if the day doesn't work, but
No, that's fine.
it sounds like most folks.
That's fine.
Do we need a hearing or could we approve it with a conditional change?
I'm fine with a conditional change. How TPL and Rhoda you feel? I mean, we could conditionally approve it with, the condition that it meets the road frontage requirement in the Route 15 corridor zoning district. Because everything else checks out on it. It's just that one element.
Is that fine with you, Diane?
Yeah, I suppose that would be, I mean, yeah, yes, let's do that. And if for some reason I talk to the surveyor tomorrow and there's some reason that I didn't know that they chose these lines, can I get back to you? Yeah.
I'll try to drive up there. I want to see if they've got any marks. I know they've got some orange ribbons and stuff out there, so,
Mhm.
yeah, I'll drive up there. I wouldn't think there should be any problem with them just moving the pin one way or the other. Once it's up the
Right, I
road.
think I think it's just the domino effect of all the other pieces of this project, but, that's something we'll just have to deal with.
Mhm.
Does it change significantly some other portion of this project?
Just as you know, we're using other funding sources for this project, and so we've already given them a lot of due diligence, so it just means it has to go back through all their review processes to get approved with the different, because it'll change the acreage of the pieces that they're getting as well. Yeah.
Minimally.
I was gonna say, I can't imagine, like, it seems unfortunate they would give you such a hard time over, a quarter of an acre.
I agree, but unfortunately, that's the life I lead, so.
Well, it probably wouldn't be a hard time. It's a matter of time.
Right, it's just a matter of
Going through
No,
the
it's a- yeah.
process.
No, I don't, no, it's just the process. It's the process. It's not that I think that anyone's gonna suddenly say, oh, we're not gonna fund the project, but it's just the process. But that, that's on us.
Just move in the state.
I think it would fall well within the plus and minus on 136.4 acres.
I would entertain a motion to conditionally approve 2411S. The condition that the new lines drawn meet the road frontage requirements and the Route 15 corridor.
Make that motion.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
I,
Any nays? Any abstentions? Okay,
Thank you all for your time.
absolutely. Thank you.
We have 180 days to submit that.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
All right, now we have application 2402S, a 3-lot subdivision or in Tulp. Applicant proposes to subdivide a 12-acre lot off Brookview Lane into 3 parcels. Lot 1 of 5.3, lot 2 of 3.1, and lot 3 of 3.6. Please see attached wastewater site plan draft for reference. Wastewater permit has not yet been approved by Vermont Agency of Natural Resources. Who do we have speaking? Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give is the truth to the best of your knowledge and the pains and penalties of perjury?
Yep.
Okay,
You had to raise the
the map here. I think there's this one.
You know where that's what I thought it was. Originally, you guys had a house
Yeah.
up here.
We live on the 4 to start with.
Right, so having it out here.
See,
Look,
yeah, problem solved.
you will hear no problems with me. I think it's up here. I live right here.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not bad. No, I think
It's from,
Thanks.
where was your thing?
I talked to Gove out, like. I don't know,
Just-
yeah. Right. It's pretty good. No, it's good. I hope that works perfect, because I had my house is here and we won't see each other. and-
This is the one
Oh,
they brought in.
I'm not worried about that. It's good. You were worried, weren't you? Listen, I'm surprised.
Cost of a driveway is not cheap, so these are.
I'm aware, because I had to go this one because they didn't know where the state, but with this one.
That was an epic driveway.
I had to because imagine putting a pump station down from here to there.
That pump station would be no big deal, it's just pipe.
If this is all ledge.
Well, yeah.
Blasting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I did a bunch of blasting. It was no fun.
So this one's got the least road, but it's. For a 2 acre lot.
I talked to him, yeah. He's in Indiana. He's like, nobody wants.
Neighbor.
He's a son of a bitch, he was.
You told me that you were trying to get 4 lots out of this.
Yeah, that was what everybody wanted.
Oh, yeah.
These guys, so they were all pitching in there. So I said, then go to you.
Yeah, now all you gotta do is sit down with your neighbors and get.
You're working.
Yeah.
They got angry about anything in writing, like, let's just have some handshake that we take. I came through, I don't know if you've been down here, and I graded the whole road 2 weeks ago.
No, I've been down recently, but no, I've written.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Jim's here, he's interested.
I got a plowing contractor to take care of the whole road, $8,000 for the whole road. Steal, if you ask me, $8,000 for the whole road. Nobody wanted to do it.
Pond Road is up here.
I said, I don't know what to do with you people. This is how community's supposed to work.
They're obligated. It's common.
I'm aware.
We have. Private road, this one's private
I
road,
know you tried.
160.
I have tried.
I think it's really bad, but out here.
89 or something.
Yeah. Listen, this is all I was gonna ask for, is this.
See that.
This is the only thing I wanted. So is this a permanent, this is where it's gonna be regardless? I just wanna make sure they build here.
The only thing they can't. This is
Don't know
the
how far down
the house.
Is,
They can't put the house like here, right? My house is here. I just don't wanna,
I have no idea.
Right.
oh, but this is right here.
View is this.
Right next to his driveway.
Right next to my driveway.
I don't know where you're driving.
Top of the hill, so do you know Brookview Lane at all?
Nope.
Okay.
Jim was asking more.
So you come down the road, you go around the corner, and then you go around another corner, and then you go around the corner, there's a bunch of potholes. And that's where it is,
It's a long flat.
right across from Dolan Properties, it's after.
The wildland fire at 770.
Say again.
Yeah, so right next to that.
Right here.
Yeah.
Oh.
I had the wildland fire. When they were blasting, it was that dry year, and when the blasting caps went into the woods. Oh, yeah, it was something else. Good thing I hired blasters, though. That's why you hired.
That's why we got a fire pond we built for you up there.
Exactly, the fire pond down here, right?
Yeah.
Is that fire pond good for all of these? I guess that was a.
Well, they required it for, what the hell was I doing?
Must have
Coleman.
been.
For Coleman, yeah, right at the bottom of the hill
Fire
there.
department has an easement, so there's.
Right.
This is the wastewater plant.
Oh, okay.
It gives
and
people
then
an
that's
idea.
the GO plant.
Yeah, that's what we were just.
Yeah. But we were just, this is his properties.
His driveway's right there. Comes right immediately out that corner.
So you could turn it down here, you could turn.
Right. You can go all the way to the end, and then got a little turnaround. There's a tiny home or whatever.
Yeah, this is a little dirt road or something.
Yeah, I've never seen.
My hand, Seabird.
And then, yeah, Nick is building down there right now. He's building down there, and then there's another, Caitlin is her name. She's across from me as well.
It's a lot going on.
That's a busy place.
It's nice.
Is that in your file?
After 7, everything falls apart.
I think so.
Even you're like, this is great. Let's.
What can I do for you, Jen? Any questions?
She called me.
Yeah. So is there any way I can just ask for them to build on the side of this? They can't build up here? Oh, because they can't put a driveway up.
Yeah. There's not enough room to make
I-
serpentine.
Yeah,
Like you're-
I had to put mine there, like I said, because the state wouldn't let me move this without a whole new
Yeah.
thing. So when I met with the engineer, he said, look, we're gonna come up here, come up here, come up here. I was like, that is gonna cost me a fortune.
Yeah.
It's like,
We
what else do you wanna do?
We didn't have the room. But to do.
Yeah,
that-
but you know what? If driveways are cheap, people like to walk the woods.
And it's sweet.
I agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're gonna build here.
Yes.
Good.
Given the.
Oh, yeah, right.
Right.
Nice logs down there.
I just don't wanna come out where that garden's right here.
Yeah, looks
Yeah.
nice, did a good job.
That's why we left.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, Jim helped me a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
So what are you gonna put there?
No, they can't.
Talking of
Nothing, everybody.
Yeah.
Put 'em in-
Well, because it's driving.
I'm open for ideas. I'm thinking about a bakery and then a parking upstairs. You're saying they move it back from the road.
Yeah.
Well,
He's
Great.
he's relying on.
It's
approved. It's gonna be approved. That's true.
It's not.
Yeah. No, I think
If they wanted to put the house here, would they have to go to the DRB and say, look, we
On
want.
Wolcott Mead.
Or no?
Well, tell your friends, I'll be evangelizing that thing for the next 5 months.
Well,
The meetings, the wastewater.
On the edge of buying.
Here, and every Thursday, first
Twice.
of the month,
And then we-
until, probably be a bond.
This one comes across from
meeting,
Have they-
right?
Really was
This is Peters now as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, defined.
Yeah, so
School.
right here, there's a little
Yeah.
little
Really?
flat road already, look,
Yeah.
logging road. Yeah, it would be like a simple traffic, no blocks.
Yeah.
thing.
can't, it's the average person.
Oh, but.
The money you get up here.
That's whatever you.
Well, I had,
It's like 25 feet of.
Yeah.
Stars.
Yeah.
Great.
Great. There's a lot of diesel fuel.
All right, so we can, unless anybody has any burning questions, we can go through the list. All right, so we got a map prepared by the registered land surveyor. It's got the number of acres, location of existing property lines, existing easements, all parcels adjacent listed with the names and addresses. And no zoning district boundaries. There's no existing sewer, there's nothing on, it's just bare land, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Proposed lot lines. Vicinities, map. The name and address of the proposed subdivision. The name and address of the owner of record, and adjoining properties. 8 true north arrow and scale, total acreage of the subdivision in each of the lots are numbered and identified. Yes,
Yes.
okay. That was the one I didn't look at. Go into dimensional stuff. So, dimensions and shape. We looked at that, they're regular shape. But then, or they're configured so that a regular shaped lot is along the frontage, the road. Frontage, we've got 150 feet minimum on all of them. Access to lots. We've got the access on the frontage. Usable lot requirement, they're designed for houses, right? I saw on the wastewater map there.
I think, let's see, it's 1 4-bedroom, a 3-bedroom and a 3-bedroom, if the wastewater permit gets approved as it stands.
So there's no existing water systems, the proposed ones are on that map. This wastewater disposal is on that map. Utilities are on the map. There's, or proposed, there aren't any, right?
I don't believe there are. I believe that there's poles across the street currently.
Yeah, along the other side of the road.
Street design and layout, looks like there was driveways on that map. No pet and bike facilities. Stormwater management,
None formally done.
fire hydrants, fire ponds, dry hydrants.
There's a fire pond, at the property.
Bottom of the long hill.
But not on that,
No.
so. Street and sidewalk lighting, rec areas, common land. Ag soils, again, this is. What is the total acreage? It's
It's 12.
12 acres.
Put the.
So that's the list right there. Anybody see anything concern or question? I did not.
Want a motion?
Sure.
I make the motion, we accept application 2402S. As presented.
I second that.
Any further discussion or questions?
We'll provide the usual private road maintenance because that's tie this one to the others. Even though it's already obligated because the owner has a right of way in common. But, I think the usual private road maintenance thing and see if we can't. We got somebody that wants to head up an association.
I never said that.
He said he's working on it, so that's a huge change from.
Well, it would be nice now that it's, I mean, last month, we put what, 9 lots now, 9 more lots on this road.
So
My biggest concern is that no one's gonna maintain it. You know, how's life safety gonna work? We keep adding more and more, you know? If a house burns down and they're inaccessible to the road, what happens?
Last winter, they had like an 18-wheeler that got stuck in the road, or was it a big truck?
They did.
And it blocked it for like 3 or 4 hours.
Oh, on the hill, right? Yeah.
On that little dirt road.
It was a tow truck, I think. Someone tried to get towed up the hill, because they couldn't get up the hill, and the tow truck got stuck.
That's my concern, you know.
Well, that's a concern on
It's
any.
one way in and one way out, so if it gets blocked like that, then we can't get in.
So all the new lots will have to share in the maintenance.
Yeah. And
I sold every piece of land up there since starting in 77. And everybody that bought a lot got a right of way in common. That's the way we did it. And that means common use, common obligation. And all the formal document says is the same thing with a lot more words. And it spells out proportional stuff. The further down the road, theoretically, the more money you pay. You're the first guy off the curb, Town Road 4, you don't have to pay so much because you only have the use of short distance. But apparently that concept is foreign to a lot of folks, but
the percentage of obligation changes based on
the way that things are written is it's a proportional. If you use 100% of the road, your obligation is going to be more than if the next guy uses 50% of the whole road and 25%, 10%, and so forth. So
based on the number of properties.
and then
So the more people, the more it gets spread out. And
the usual method is that's the fallback position and people come up with an informal sharing. If there's 10 people on the road, snow plowing is $100, they all pay $10. I mean.
Did it spell out what the proportional equation would be? I mean, you just said one,
I used to sit down and figure them out, but goddamn, it takes.
but it could be a lot of different ways of figuring that.
Well, it's from the intersection of the town highway to the intersection. of your driveway.
Proportion means whatever you want it to be.
Well, no, you come up with it mathematically. If there's 50 people on the road and there's 2,000 feet of road, and obviously each one's gonna have a different proportion, so.
That's your definition of proportion, but I mean, they could proportion it.
You can do it any way you want.
You could give the longest one, like, whatever, 1/3 of the distance, right, whatever.
I think that if everyone just took care of their road frontage, it'd be fine, right? That would make sense to me.
Well, it probably would, yeah.
Bang,
Everybody took care of their
right?
section, it would be 100%.
So and like I said, I feel I have no problems either way. I live on the road, but I'm apparently the only one who could make it tonight. So my biggest concern was I was concerned about life safety just because there's so many houses that are gonna go on.
Yeah.
And they will go on.
Yeah.
As soon as Robert Nolan starts cutting trees, or whatever he does, those lots they'll go. These 3, they're beautiful. They'll go. You know what I mean? And then now we have a bunch of traffic and.
Well,
Yeah, you're right. It's gonna be written in their deed and.
many hands make light work if you get them all to pitch in.
All right, but no one's forcing it.
that's the thing.
I mean, you can get them to pitch in, that's called a lawyer and
Oh, yeah.
a judgment.
That's.
But
Yeah,
that's
it's
probably,
down there.
that's probably what it takes.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't have to get to that. That's, like I said, I was trying, to get everyone.
I lived on a private road for years and I was the first guy on the road, but I had a tractor and a road grader. I just took care of it and it worked great because I like doing it. But when I needed gravel, I'd buy gravel and I'd send them all a bill and they'd pay.
This isn't our concern now, is that?
No.
You know, if this was a new road, a new subdivision, hold it to town highway standards. And really, the road association should think about that. When you're doing
There are
that.
like 6 different road maintenance agreements now, though.
I know.
Every subdivision gets another little road maintenance agreement,
Now, the attorneys all want to see one, so.
Yeah, I
They
know.
all get the
They
same.
all get the same one.
And well, it's kind of hard to have a
No, you're right.
separate deal for the same road 6 times or
If
10 times.
changes even a little bit, a lawyer's.
I'm concerned at that point, it's gonna come at some point, right?
Yeah.
Someone's house is gonna catch fire, someone's gonna have a heart attack, road won't be plowed. And it'll just be a civil suit, and someone's gonna say, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah.
Well. Anyway, that's,
But that's not a here thing.
so he's gonna fan the,
Whoa.
he's the only one that
I'm
said.
trying to be right, and I say, right, find the page, we'll send out the message, no one wants to take it.
So, in response to your concerns, Jim, we really can't mandate much of anything on this road any more than we could as somebody developing on a class 4 town road.
Well, the class 4 town road, you have to at least get the selectmen's permission to work on it.
Right, but I mean, if somebody wanted to put a subdivision, it's legal.
I know they have a right to do it. And most of the people that have done the developing didn't actually live there, which is not unusual, but. Apparently, there's a demand that things sell pretty much as fast as they come up, so. Anyway.
So we do have a motion on the table. Does anyone have any other further questions or comments? All right, so all those in favor of approving 2402S signify by saying aye.
I,
Aye. Any nays? Any abstentions? Okay.
Thank you very much, guys.
Approved.
It's approved as soon as we get the state permits, get you the bylaw.
I think the proper plots are gonna start going for sale.
All right, so the final, shocked to come on the agenda is to review the findings and
You got it.
effect, findings and decision of the Knowlton subdivision.
We weren't involved.
That's
I
what
mean, I sold him the land 77, so he hasn't excluded it.
This is approved and I mean, I'll be the part that matters here is
Landowner son.
8 lot subdivision.
Yeah, that's a.
Sorry, it's a revision of an uncompleted lot subdivision. 8 lots by David Hutton from 2010, by 7 lots,
He's the main.
2012. And then it's a proposal of combining lots 5 and 7 with deed description in lieu of the survey with the draft copy of the deed to merge lots 5 and 7.
Give it to you.
The protective covenants and restrictions. Draft copy of owners association and Brook private roadway maintenance agreement to be part of the deed. And then the lots are, it's a 20-acre parcel, so lot 1, 2.1 acres, lot 2, 2.11, lot 3, 2.1, lot 4, 2.09, lot 5 and 7 is 9.25, lot 6 is 2.08.
Spent money on things.
Let through.
Other than that favorite, he's rated as well.
Just meet the requirements of this, the subdivision plat review public hearing, the dimensional requirements and access, the usable lot requirement. So that's, if anyone would like to take a look at this.
Good night, thanks for inviting me.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
This, Tom, this isn't an action item, is it?
Right.
This is not an action item. I just it was for review, and then if everybody agrees, then I sign the thing.
Yeah, if everyone agrees, yeah.
Probably.
I know, I didn't have time to send it out. Finished it this afternoon.
Oh,
Subdivision lined up for next month. David Monaco.
still. All right, I would need a motion to adjourn. Yes.
So I would not be available on the 22nd of November to help you run this. So I don't know if you want to set the next meeting.
You said we have at present one application for, Dolan said he can't.
Somebody from tonight is gonna bring something in. Yeah, it's just the one.
Well, okay, so we can look at the calendar here. Because we didn't technically recess anything, so it's still sort of. So the Wednesday before that's the 15th, and obviously the Wednesday after that's the 29th.
15th would be select board.
Oh, is it?
Probably first and 15th,
They're the first and third.
which would be the 1st of November and the 15th.
The 8th or the 22nd. Or the 29th.
Yeah, I mean, if you have that once in a while, month, if you have 5 months.
Right.
I just thought it might be good to take advantage of that.
I have no problem meeting on the 29th. I don't think. The following Wednesday.
Just if you need to. Right. This point.
And just in terms of running all this stuff, like I've run Zoom meetings before, but you're kind of like at a little bit of a higher.
I'm actually hoping, because you guys, the demand is here for that camera, the overhead camera. I have already owns. Thinking about mounting it. Ceiling, and I can control it from here, and zoom in on whatever we need to.
Have a document table.
Sort of, I mean, I have this small document camera, but it's completely insufficient, because everything you guys are looking at is big.
Yeah, right.
So, and honestly, I think that made this super cool.
Does it have good zoom? Is that?
But yeah, it's the zooming, it's up to 3 times, but from the ceiling to a table, that's plenty.
Mm.
So it's not a huge zoom, but it's enough, and this town already owns this camera, so I can try it. Right, if it doesn't work, then I can figure out something better, but it would require that the way we configure the room be consistent. If it's permanently mounted on the ceiling, so so there's something to think about. I don't know who configures the room today. If this works for you like this. Personally, I wasn't a huge fan because I feel like the gallery is kind of behind you guys.
Well, it seems like we could be closer together. Other boards are doing that. Morristown, certainly, if you look at any of the videos. And so.
I'm sorry to hold you guys up, but.
No, it's fine.
Just questions about to mount these microphones in the ceiling. And the locations.
Okay.
Too.
Well, I mean, generally, yeah, the board sits facing the public.
Right. And kind of my whole, because it was COVID and I hadn't really participated in the meetings prior to that. I wasn't sure how it was done in the past. So this equipment is mounted what I thought was the side of the room. So that the whatever board or meeting organization was in the front, or the gallery in the back, and then there's space in between. And that way everybody could look to the side and see the remote participants. And so that was my vision.
We should have just the table set up here.
Yeah.
And then we can see them and this stuff.
And then I thought there sometimes might be a African table, but the review is gonna happen on a table up front.
Yeah.
Right, where you're actually there, because that's how it's generally, so that will help me decide how to mount this, but I may do it temporarily first or on a stand, just to try it first. But this would be a lot steadier than me trying to hold my camera right in Jim's face. So. So thank you for taking a minute off.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess, I entertain a motion to, reschedule the regular meeting from November 22nd to the 29th of November.
Make that motion.
I second that.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
I,
All right, so we are on the twin for the 29th, and then I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make that motion.
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right.